Well, now there's a new option for people who can't get enough of social media. Meta has introduced the Threads app through its Instagram image sharing platform. Threads lets users build off their existing Instagram followings and offers a service that looks very similar to Twitter. Meta has been working on a way to get more conversations happening on Instagram, which is one of its most popular products. It's also where most of Meta's younger users hang out already. Threads is just the latest alternative to Twitter that has tried to capitalize on the technical glitches and volatile policy changes at the micro-blogging site brought on by billionaire Elon Musk, who bought Twitter for $44 billion last October. Well, since the takeover, Twitter is now worth about half of the price that Musk paid for it. Well, will this new Threads app catch on? Let's find out now with Trevor Long, who joins us from Sydney. He's a media and tech commentator and the editor of the tech industry news site EFTM.com. Really good to have you with us, Trevor. Well, in the space of about 7 hours, the Threads app already garnered about 10 million users. We know Twitter currently has more than 200 million users. Do you think it poses much of a threat to Twitter at this point?
Well, it's good to be with you, and I actually think it does. I think the biggest challenge any rival to Twitter has had is getting users. Now, there's been several, Mastodon, Blue Sky, and they look great, but getting people to come to them and then finding audiences as a user is difficult. Whereas when I sign up to Threads as an Instagram user, it says, do you want to follow the same people you follow on Instagram? And what will happen is as people join Threads, they will automatically be connected with people they already know through Instagram. So with 2.3 billion people using Instagram, it's actually a small percentage of those people that need to take up Threads for it to absolutely dominate over Twitter.
And we know since Elon Musk took control of Twitter last October, he's introduced some very controversial changes. Most recently, he's limited the number of posts that users can see. He's also allowed some controversial figures back onto the platform. He's also eroded the credibility of the Twitter platform as well. Do you think that all of this combined will really drive more users to Threads?
I think as a long-term Twitter user, I've been using Twitter since the very beginning. It's at its worst as a user experience. There's really poor quality advertisements there at the moment. There's the irrational nature of the policy changes, as you've stated. And I think if Instagram can bring a cleaner experience and a higher quality experience in terms of advertising, and I mean, we have to accept we're always the product. The product is free, so there will be ads, but it needs to be high quality. And I think that Instagram could bring that. So I think that Elon has actually created this problem for himself. I wouldn't be surprised if Meta didn't even begin to think about such a product until the volatility at Twitter was created.
And we know Twitter over the years has developed a reputation as being somewhat of an echo chamber. It's also something that the younger market really doesn't identify with at this stage. Instagram, on the other hand, is hugely popular among the very lucrative younger market. As you say, Threads is looking to leverage off of Instagram some 2 billion users. Do you think we might see Threads take a different direction to Twitter, perhaps a younger feel that will try to attract that younger demographic?
I actually do. I think that, though, for better or worse, that may work against them. So as a Twitter user, I go to Twitter for a chronological look at a limited number of people that I follow. Already Threads is very clearly taking a we'll show you what we think you might like style of approach, which is very TikTok-like and very Instagram-like. And so I've already seen young users, even my 16-year-old son is already on Threads and doing different things that I've never seen him do before because I've never seen him use Twitter. So it may appeal to the younger audience, but if it doesn't do what Twitter does for the older audience, they won't get that kind of sticky, regular use, and also that information news gathering style approach that Twitter has. And that's simply a question of whether or not Instagram is purely in it for that younger audience and to take them away and make sure they never go to Twitter and leave Twitter to essentially rot as a product for a different generation.
Yes, well, it's early days yet for Threads, but Trevor Long, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Now to other top business stories from around the world. The Canadian government has said it would stop buying ads on Facebook and Instagram The decision was made after parent company Meta's move to end news access on its platforms in the country because of a dispute over a new law on paying online news publishers. The legislation was introduced because of concerns about tech giants dominating the online advertising market and impacting news businesses. Sri Lanka's central bank has slashed interest rates for the second consecutive month, citing a sharp decline in inflation. The benchmark lending rate was cut by 200 basis points to 12%, in line with expectations. Last week, the bank unveiled a far-reaching proposal to restructure its $42 billion debt as the island nation suffers its worst economic crisis in its history. And JetBlue will end its partnership with American Airlines after a US court ruling that determined the joint venture was anti-competitive. The airline said while it strongly disagrees, it would not appeal the decision. JetBlue will instead focus on winning approval for its $3.8 billion acquisition of the low-cost carrier Spirit Airlines.